everyone, and welcome to the Popcorn Bucket List, the podcast that keeps your movie bucket list up to date because those 1,000 movies to see before you die lists are just too daunting. I'm your host and resident sea monster moonlighting as a pasta lover, Gracie.
And I am Darrell, the Kwisatz Haderach, if that's a Dune reference.
And I'm Sarah, and there will be no crying in my office, which is a French Dispatch reference.
Much better than mine.
Do I need to tell people what mine is, or do you think they got it?
I'm pretty sure.
I think if they're listening, hopefully they got it.
Okay. For anybody who didn't, it was a Luca reference. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. How were your holidays?
It was good.
That's great.
As fun as it can be as COVID continues.
Yes. As the great pandemic of
2020 to
2022 keeps on trucking. I got a lot of movies in, I think. I feel like I got to see a good fair bit of movies this past couple weeks, but I'm a teacher, so I've been off for 2 weeks, and I'm about to start up again in 2 days, so that won't last very long. But did you guys get any good movies? Did y'all see all the holiday movies that came out this past week?
Let's see. I watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Does that count?
Yes, I was talking about the blockbuster holiday movies.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that movie comes out every year.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, sure. I saw
Spider-Man, Matrix. I'm trying to think of what the other ones are. I feel like those are like the big two for this season.
Yeah, those are like the big Christmas movies.
Yeah.
At least it says in the trailer, like, this Christmas, Spider-Man.
Licorice Pizza did come out on Christmas Day, but
okay, well, there you go. The only true Christmas movie, then.
Yes. Alas. Well, I'm glad it went well. Anyway, 2021 was a big year for movies, as is every year, but especially despite the pandemic. I feel like this was kind of the comeback year from 2020, obviously. So today we're going to talk about our favorite movies of the year. And, we'll talk about the best, the worst, and maybe the ones that surprised us. Who wants to go first? Sarah?
Yeah. I'm going to start with my...
You can tell I'm a teacher, by the way. I just called on you. I didn't wait for the volunteer. I just said, yeah, Sarah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll start with my little reference from the beginning, the French Dispatch. Yeah, I mean, this year in general was like huge, especially for me. Like my 3 favorite directors put out movies. So Wes Anderson, Edgar Wright, and Denis Villeneuve. So yeah, it was insane and amazing. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the French Dispatch because I think Darrell's got Dune covered.
I do. In sand, covered in sand.
2 movies I didn't get to see.
I saw it 3 times, so it accounts for everybody. I saw it once for all of you.
Perfect. But yeah, the French Dispatch. I know a lot of people were like, it wasn't my favorite Wes Anderson, and like we didn't get to like dive into his characters as much because it bounced around so much. But like I feel like I got 3 Wes Anderson movies in one, and I was perfectly happy with that because I loved every story. And I remember I watched it twice the week it came out, and I was just like trying to figure out what my favorite story was because like all of them were just so brilliant. And I mean, it was so very Wes Anderson. But yeah, I absolutely loved it, and I think that the artist story is my favorite. And Benicio del Toro was just like, wow. And also probably one of Tilda Swinton's like greatest roles ever. She was absolutely hysterical. Like
absolutely.
She was so brilliant in that. It was great. But it was like everything that you need out of Wes Anderson. Like I had to watch it twice because you're reading half the time and you're listening half the time and trying to watch 2 screens at once. And like it was just all over the place. But also just I think it went brilliantly together, and just I loved it.
Yeah, I was also a big fan of the French Dispatch. I think I texted you after I saw it, and I was basically like, how did he make this movie? Like, it's one of those films that in any other director's hands, it just doesn't really work. but he has such a specific style, and he has such a clear grasp of exactly what he wants to do, that the movie just, it functions perfectly. Every little weird element of the film, it's like, yes, that fits because it's his little universe. It's
Mhm.
like he moves his characters around like puppets, but it's like in a very endearing way. You have all these strange characters, like Tilda Swinton's character is like one of the funniest characters. She's so weird that she's just giving a lecture the entire movie, but she's such a weird person. But it's like, again, in the hands of Wes Anderson, it's like, it's perfect. It's one of the, like, in terms of just like directorial efforts, people trying to just make a movie that they want to make, I feel like he was the most successful director ever with that movie.
Yeah.
So high praise.
know-
High praise.
Yeah.
I
know
just
some people
Googled
are
just a
like,
picture of her, and oh my God,
yeah.
she is okay.
Yeah. I mean, some of the backlash I heard was like, how can you cast all these like huge actors and give them these like tiny little roles? But like,
That's the whole
that's
point of a
always
Wes
what he,
Anderson.
that's
Yeah,
always what he
Yeah,
does.
that's what how he
Like,
does it.
it's like, remember that one time Tilda Swinton answered the phone in Moonrise Kingdom? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Mhm. Yeah.
that's the whole point. But yeah, it was brilliant. And
Like,
same cast of every other movie he's done. And man, I think all of them are just so happy to be a part of it that they keep coming back for good reason.
It must be nice to just to be able to say, like, I get to work with Wes Anderson for 5 minutes and it's like the best 5 minutes ever. And it's like, it wouldn't be like his movies wouldn't be the same if it didn't have those all-star cast. They would just be movies of just people. But the fact those faces, those voices
Yes.
so well,
You
it
like
just
light up
brings those
every time you
characters to
see Bill
life.
Murray. You're like, oh, there he
Yeah.
is.
yeah.
Did it's like he's gonna bring it. He's gonna be on screen for like 30 seconds, but he's gonna bring it. It's gonna
I
be
almost
Willem Dafoe
expect
spent
it.
the whole time in jail, just like sitting there, hardly saying a thing.
That's what it's like. I almost expect that out of other directors too. Like, like I remember watching, I don't remember what it was, but I like the whole time you don't see the villain's like face the whole time. And I'm like expecting it to be like some big actor, and I'm like waiting for it. And then like it ends up being somebody you saw in the beginning of the movie. And I was like, that was not the reveal I was expecting to be, but also like, yeah, that worked out. But like he's makes it so elegant too. It's not like this is Bill Murray. Like it's just like Bill Murray walks into screen and then walks out. Like nothing showy about him. I need to see it. It's definitely one I missed, and I'm kind of bummed I missed it.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the best of the year. So you'll get a chance to see it. You'll like it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have a lot of movies I need to catch up on. It was a weird year for me. Darrell, you want to talk about another one I haven't seen?
Of course, because why not?
I might have avoided this film. I apologize.
You avoided the greatest movie.
Yeah. Sorry. I just
Okay.
I couldn't get into I don't know.
It's a lot of sand. I understand.
It's a lot of sand.
Anakin would not be impressed. But yeah, my favorite movie, if you haven't guessed by me already mentioning it, is Dune. Dune I saw in theaters 3 times, once in Dolby, twice in IMAX when it was like brought back to theaters. It was like my most anticipated film because Denis Villeneuve is of course like also one of my all-time favorite directors. Like him and Christopher Nolan are like neck and neck, constantly like one-upping each other in my head. So yeah, especially since I saw the David Lynch version of Dune, which is terrible, unfortunately. It's hilarious in how bad it is. It's truly wonderful to watch a film that, despite knowing very little about the story, I mean, I saw the old one, but the story doesn't make any sense in the old one. And this one, you watch it and you understand the story because he does such a great job of world building, like without lingering on stuff, I guess. He does this awesome thing where he will throw out a name of something from the book, but it's like they explain it just a little bit, just enough so you understand the importance of it, but you don't have to get like a whole like 10 pages of lore to explain like this is what the Kwisatz Haderach is, this is what the Bene Gesserit is, this is what Arrakis is. It's like he just gives you just enough so you understand and you can move on. The performances were really good. The visual effects are so cool. I truly felt like I was in the world. Like no sci-fi movies ever made me feel like so a part of the universe as this
Yes.
version of Dune has. Like even one I was watching like a video essay about how he films his movies, and one thing they said is that one thing Denis Villeneuve tends to do is that he will focus more on the atmosphere than on like if there's like a cool spaceship, he's like, that's an awesome spaceship, but it's foggy outside. So you're just gonna get to see a little tiny slither of it, but you're like, oh my god, what does that spaceship look like? I want to see the rest of it. And he doesn't give it to you, and you're like, ah, you got me again, Denis. You got me. That's okay. I know we're gonna see something cool in a second, and then you see something cool like immediately, and just like it's just visually it's so stunning. And I know there's a lot of I guess similar to the French Dispatch, there's a little bit of controversy. It's different in this one in that it kind of ends halfway through the book.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good ending spot because after that the book gets pretty crazy anyway. So it's nice they just kind of stop at a point where it's like, cool, now you know where the story's going. It does do a lot to set up the next movie, but it works really, really well on its own. So like, I don't know. I think about this movie a lot nowadays. I even think of the score. I love the music for this movie. I love the kind of like the barbaric sound you hear for the Harkonnen, like the kind of like screaming lady who just like is always just randomly singing in the background to like indicate like Paul's like powers. Um it's just a wonderful movie that just makes me feel good every time I watch it. I was so mad when they took it off of HBO Max. So that means I couldn't watch it when I got home after I just watched it in the movie theater. So yeah, I can gush about Dune all day long.
Uh,
So
yeah, it was fantastic. Like, I mean, you can look at my letterbox. There's tons of movies that I've given 5 stars to, but like, I haven't left the theater feeling like that since I watched the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Like, that was the movie
Oh,
that made me want to watch movies. And
wow.
I felt the same way when I left the theater. I was like, I need to know more. I want to be there. I have to know. Like, I want to be
yeah.
back. I want to go back right now and like watch it again and be in it again. Like, it was just like the sense of like the adventure and the story and the world, and I just wanted to be a part of it, and it was so so amazing. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head with like literally all of those points. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I tried to read Dune. I got like 3 pages in and I was like, wow, this is rough. And then I put it down, and then after I watched the movie I was like, should I try to read it again because I want
uh
to know more.
I did do that. I did the exact same thing. I got like 10 pages and I was like, no,
Ooh.
this is way too
Heavy.
much. But then watching the movie 3 times, I was like, I'm gonna have to start reading the book again. And I did actually. And it's way easier to read it now
I
because I'm
bet,
like,
yeah, because it's
oh, I
like,
know
oh,
what's gonna
now
happen.
context.
Yeah, I can actually see the world now. So I know this is not what Frank Herbert exactly envisioned, but too bad. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this movie now. So
And
highly
I feel like
recommend
there
it.
are very few movies that do that, that I feel like make a book more accessible, but that really did.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's true. It's like most of the time it's like, oh, the book was better. But this one, it's like you can't even read the book until you watch the movie. Like the book is just such a learning curve. It's like, no, you need training wheels first, then you could read the book. So that's the answer to the question that basically me and Grace have had for the past like year and a half. Is like, should we read the book first, then watch the movie? Now you know, watch the movie.
Yeah, I got through. I think I tried so many times. Like, I picked up the book, I'd read like the opening quotation and go, I'm good. And I was like, I'll
Yeah.
do something else. And I definitely mean to watch it. I think that was like, I felt like I need to sit down and like really prep myself. And I don't know, I was weird about going to the movie theaters at that point. And so
Hmm.
I was kind of like, yes, anding it. And then I don't know. And then it was off of HBO and I missed it. And I was like, well, I'll get around to it eventually.
Well, it
I
comes out on
think
Blu-ray on the 11th, so I'll you
nice.
can
I
use
will be
my
I was gonna
purchasing that.
say you can buy it and let me borrow it.
exactly. We'll watch it together.
Yeah. Um, so I I think my favorite film, and like not in the last 2 weeks, because I probably would have said, because I don't want to talk about like any of the movies that came out for the holidays, because while I assume most of us have seen, at least anybody listening to this podcast have seen the holiday movies, because that's the whole point of them being holiday movies, is that you can see them over the holidays. I don't want to say any spoilers, but I think my favorite movie of the year is Matrix 4. But I'll leave it at that and talk about something else. I was like super hyped for the Matrix, and I adore the story, and I love the characters. I was Trinity for Halloween, so I was like,
preach.
Yes. But
I'm over here like, no. One
third of this podcast did not like it.
Guess which one?
It was the one that did not binge the movies before seeing it.
Exactly.
So I was
I
like,
shouldn't have to. I've seen them all.
No,
and
no,
you know
no.
what? 2 and 3 are not very good.
But have you seen them all 6 times? That's the question.
Honestly, no. I had seen the first one, and then I hadn't seen the second and third. I loved the first one, so I was like sold on it. I knew I would like the characters, and yes, 2 and 3 are not good. 2 being pretty bad, and 3 being an okay.
Most people would disagree with you.
I feel like 3 is the worst one.
No.
Also, you're a robot anyway.
You're a robot, Sarah.
My opinion doesn't matter.
That's because you're a machine.
You're a machine.
It was inevitable.
You know what?
Mr. Anderson.
I think it was I love the characters, and that was the thing I always liked about the Matrix. Sorry, I hit my water bottle with a pen. I've always loved the characters of like Trinity and Neo and Morpheus. It just like those were fun, and I liked the idea of where they were getting at, the directors, and the Wachowski sisters. I wanted to make sure I said it right. The Wachowskis, right?
Yeah, it's the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
I think it was Lana Wachowski.
Lana did the fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah. And which I thought was interesting that, Lily didn't continue, which I don't know. But it was social commentary on itself, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I don't care. It was also just like phenomenally casted. Like I loved what they, who they pulled from the old movies and who they didn't pull. Like I thought that was really interesting choices. But yes, I digress. A movie I can talk about, and I'll shut up. I really liked Luca. Luca was one of those films that I didn't watch when it was like just coming out. I, kind of farted around, watched a bunch of other movies, and then finally got to Luca like really late in the game. And I remember texting you guys going, why didn't I watch this 2 months ago? Like this was so good. And I just had a lot of fun with that. I was enjoying like every Disney movie that's come out in the last couple, years has been very just enjoyable and like relaxed fun. Does that make sense? Like it's not like you're going in to a giant blockbuster where you have to think about your morality, and I could just enjoy these 2 boys trying to get a moped, like I love that, and that's all I needed was and it was just fun. I think that one was, the animation was beautiful, and I loved the sea monsters design, because it wasn't like they weren't trying to make beautiful sea monsters. They're still trying to make sea monsters, and they're supposed to be kind of like fishy, and I love that is that and I love there's the scene with the uncle who's like from the deep sea, and he's like see-through and you could see all his organs. I just like that. Like it was kind of it was like wacky, and I think that was probably why I enjoyed that. So I'm gonna have to put Luca as my favorite film of the year. So
Luca was really good. That's when I also watched that one a couple times because it was just so. I talked about it on the podcast before. It's one of my feel good movies, just because it just makes me feel so good because it looks good. It's
It's
it's actually
beautiful
very well acted.
soundtrack.
I was about to say, like I love the music in that movie. It has some really good. Lots of movies that nowadays don't really have lots of like themes for characters or places. It's more just like generic music. But
Mhm.
Luca has like really clear themes for different characters and different play. Even the town itself has a specific theme, and I love that about it. It's such a good movie. It's so pleasant.
I also, and this is so stupid, and that I'm thinking about this, but I just watched Encanto, and I just realized that they had two movies that involve Bruno.
Yeah, they did, right?
One
Yeah.
of them's like "Ignore Your Bruno," I'm pretty sure, or "Shut Up,
Yeah.
Bruno," and the other one was like "We don't
Silencio
talk
Bruno.
about Bruno." Yeah.
So either way, Silencio Bruno.
Poor Bruno. But
I wonder
don't
when
know.
in the development phase they learned that they both had movies that had
Out
characters
of
named
Bruno.
Bruno.
Yeah. But yeah, that one I think is my favorite movie of the year. I mean, I'm gonna have to say like Spider-Man and The Matrix were both like great cherries on top for the ending of the year. But I feel like that's a cop out to pick them. So Luca.
Oh, good. I'm glad that all three of our movies had really good music, just in general.
Yeah.
They
Am
all
I
had
still a
really
robot?
No, you're not a robot.
Okay, good. I loved Luca. I also watched the little short that they did after, and that was like so good. I like cried during the short. Like, Pixar just knows how to do it. But Luca was phenomenal. It was so good.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. I'm thinking like in terms of animated films, like that one and Mitchell's versus the Machine for like.
Oh my god!
Wowee, that movie was so good.
I loved Mitchell's versus the Machines.
I wanted to rewatch it right after I finished it. I loved it so much.
Yeah,
I was not expecting to love it, and I loved it.
It's like a perfect movie, basically.
Yes. You know what? I should have remembered that film because I probably would have picked that one. But I watched that one right when I was out of the hospital when I couldn't laugh because I couldn't breathe, basically. And it was the worst movie to watch if you can't laugh. And
it was so funny.
I was in pain the whole movie.
Hello, would you like to talk to me about dinosaurs? Oh my god, I'm obsessed with him.
Oh, and the pug is hysterical. Oh my god.
The Furby scene is like the greatest scene.
Oh my god.
The Furby scene's so good. Oh my gosh. That's what I think I'm gonna go revisit again because I really enjoyed that one. And yeah.
Yeah, I want to rewatch it. I feel like it was really popular for like the week after it came out, then everybody forgot.
Yes.
Because it's just so good though. It's like insanely good.
It was beautifully animated. The casting was great. Like all the voice actors were phenomenal.
And of course, a special place in our hearts for a filmmaker to be.
Yes.
Yeah, as a main character.
It's so sweet. And I just like love the, quirkiness about it. It's another one of those like quirky, weird movies that just kind of touch a special place in your heart. And then they're also like a family, trying to survive the machines taking over. And there's a theme here.
Yes, the theme is always the Matrix.
Yes, the Matrix.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the Matrix. Going back to where it all started. The Matrix.
Oh my
gosh. I loved
the
first half of that film. I really did. It was the second half when I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to end.
Okay, that's fair. I can understand that because honestly, I love that first. I was like, oh my god, they're doing such cool stuff.
When he's in the Matrix, it's really, really cool. Yeah, no, I agree.
Weird how that seems to be the theme of the movies. It's like when you're in the Matrix, the movie is really good.
But that's kind of like how I felt about all the other movies too. Like I love the Matrix scenes and Jonathan Groff as my gosh, as the Agent Smith was phenomenal. I didn't know I needed that.
Yeah, when I realized what I love about it is that early on in the movie, it's not like a secret. It's not a spoiler. Like they tell you immediately as soon as you see him that he's like supposed to be Smith. So we're not spoiling it right now. Just throwing it out there.
And also, like, did I want to see Keanu Reeves again? Of course. Did it cheapen their deaths by bringing them back? Yeah. Not a fan.
Perhaps.
Not a fan.
Perhaps that's one way to see it. I thought of it as a great love story, and after so many years, they get to be together.
They're reunited.
You know
in
what?
the worst way possible.
And I don't care.
If Morpheus and Smith can come back as new people, they could have too.
No.
No.
He wrote the code for the Morpheus.
Like there isn't code of them.
I mean, we saw what he looked like in the Matrix, though, and he just was an old man. That's who they would have cast.
Yes,
just an old man.
It was an old man.
We don't have to talk about my worst movie of the year because we are.
No, we don't have to talk about it, but we do have to talk about it.
We do have to talk about it eventually.
That's okay. We'll go into even more detail on another day.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about half the movie already. Don't worry, no Spider-Man spoilers.
No, I won't. Marvel is a different breed of spoiler territory. I can't do that to anybody.
Just go see it.
Yeah, I took 2 weeks to go see it, and I managed to avoid a fair amount of spoil. I knew some things going into the movie, but I also felt like I knew that going into the movie anyway, so I wasn't really spoiled for me. I'm very proud of myself.
When the MCU decides to introduce Miles Morales, we'll do a Peter Parker episode to send him off before Miles, because that better happen.
Yeah. Well, the new Spider-Man movie's coming out at the end of the year. I just looked up when it was.
Oh, the new Spider-Verse one?
Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, I think it's coming out.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for that.
Right now, it's October 7th.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday, Grace.
Yes,
there you go. That's going to be a good October.
So excited. It sucks it's paired with Halloween Ends, but we don't have to worry about that.
Does that really come out next year?
Yep. October 14th as of right now. So.
Wow. Well,
we go into that, our least favorite movie.
Because we share the same one, don't we?
Yes. Halloween Kills was, I think, both Darrell and I's least favorite movie of last year.
It might have been mine, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, it would have been yours.
It would have been yours.
Okay.
It kills me. It kills me to say that that's my least favorite movie because, I love Halloween and I love spooky movies and scary movies, and I'm normally very understanding of when a horror movie doesn't hold up to my expectation, because I'm like, it's a horror movie, it's supposed to be scary, but this movie wasn't scary and it wasn't good.
Nope. Yeah, it was just kind of
it was disappointing. My thing, I think, was that I was disappointed. That was my biggest thing about it.
Yeah, it was.
I left the film very upset.
Mm-hmm. Especially since the last one was so surprisingly good. I was shocked by how good the Halloween from 2018 was. I was like, oh my God. I did not think it was going to be this amazing. And then the second one, they're just all right, well, we're going to use all of our most interesting ideas immediately. And then we're just going to have you sit around and wait till the movie ends.
It was just one of those oh, what if the townspeople take it into their hands? And I'm like, I already know what's gonna happen. That
they die.
Plus,
it's they do that at the beginning. It's you should wait till the third movie to do that.
Yeah, that should have been the ending, and I'm surprised that they were even thinking about continuing it, but it just sucks.
It does.
Because Jamie Lee Curtis was phenomenal as Laurie Strode, and it's just not fair that she doesn't get the justice that she deserves as a character. That poor woman has been through enough.
Let her rest.
Let her sleep, please. But yeah, that was my least favorite. There's really nothing else to tell you. I mean, it's just boring. It's just a boring, disappointing horror film. I don't even classify it as horror. It wasn't scary. What was supposed to be scary is, the townspeople are taking matters into their own hand, anarchy, and the police department doesn't know what they're doing. It was a lot of sides, and I felt like it was trying to be a political movie, and I'm like, your Michael Myers movie. It didn't have to be political. And
just go stabby. That's all we want.
And then they make me cry halfway through the movie because they kill some other guy, and I'm like, spoiler alert. But like,
they kill some
and
guy
I'm upset. I'm upset. I feel bad for the other guy. That's literally what it is, Sarah. I'm sorry. They literally like corner some other man who escaped from a psych ward too, and like
conveniently
he was also on the bus that got a car accident in the first Halloween or the 2018 movie, and they corner him, and it's sad. It's sad. What's her name is Judy Greer was great. I will give that. She carried that movie like on her back crawling. That poor woman was doing so well.
that was nice at least.
Redeeming quality. That's all I can give it is Judy Greer. So, all right, Sarah. So, what was your least favorite movie of 2021?
Okay, I'm actually going to cheat right now because my least favorite movie was Old, and we already talked about that for our Rage movies. So instead, I'm going to talk about my other favorite movie of the year because it's tied with French Dispatch, and I cannot not mention Licorice Pizza.
Okay.
Wow,
right.
It was really funny. It was very warm, nostalgic, gorgeous, like very different from pretty much everything that Paul Thomas Anderson has done in like the most brilliant way. Also, I didn't realize until today that the main kid in it, Cooper Hoffman, is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. So wow. And that's his only film credit, and he was absolutely brilliant in it. And then Alana Hayam and her sisters and her parents, just amazing. I laughed, I smiled, and when I left that film, like I wanted to go for a run. I wanted to go on an adventure. Like it just gave me so much energy and so much joy. And I definitely think it's a must watch. Like always, his dialogue is brilliant. Like the writing is phenomenal, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
That's good. Neither of us have seen it, but I really want to watch it. I'm
endorsing it.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. I just haven't. It was like the lowest on my list to see over the holidays because I feel like I'm going to be able to see it later. So,
yeah, I'll probably see it in a couple of days, but I'm glad that was a good experience for you.
Thank you. I watched it on Christmas Eve day as a midnight premiere or whatever at my favorite theater. Shout out to the Broad. Nice. And yeah, it was a lovely experience, and everyone should go see it when they get a chance. Because he's never made a bad movie. So
Revolutions on Christmas Eve. So sorry, I just thought I was like, what did I watch? I watched a terrible movie. I'm sorry.
I don't know what I watched on Christmas. I actually watched the movie that surprised me on Christmas Eve.
Good segue. What is
it? Good segue.
Yes. So I had an interesting one, and it's probably I doubt either of you watched it. But 8-Bit Christmas. Did either of you watch that?
I have not seen it.
I didn't even hear of it.
All right. So
explain yourself.
It's it's a modern-ish retelling of like the Christmas Story, I guess is the best way. I hate the Christmas Story. It is my least favorite Christmas movie of all time. I don't understand why people like it. I mean, like, I get it, but I also am like, if the kid cries the whole movie and he's just whiny about the gun, and I'm like, I get it, you want the gun, but jeez, like, so
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Christmas?
Oh my God.
No, I've never seen A Christmas Story.
It's like, do you remember, like, I don't remember, ABC Family used to do every, like, Christmas Day, A Christmas Story ran for 24 hours straight.
Yeah, but I never watched it even once.
Yeah, I think my parents hate Christmas because, like, we really didn't have a Christmas movie until Elf came out.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Like, my mom liked the claymation ones. I thought they were weird and creepy.
I love claymation ones. Oh my God, give me Heat Miser and Snow Miser any day. And I like the Santa Claus. I like Tim Allen. Like, that was, but and Elf. I love Elf as always. But this one was fun. It was shown to me by my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and they were like, you gotta watch it, it's great. And my brother-in-law hates A Christmas Story too, so it like he was like, it's like a modern version of The Christmas Story, but I don't know, but it stars Neil Patrick Harris, and
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about.
he is telling his daughter about the Christmas that he got the Nintendo 64. Like,
oh, okay.
And it's that's all he wanted, and he everybody kept telling him like, no, it's bad for your brain, and like the town rioted against video games, and it's just hysterical. And it's got David Cross in it, and I like David Cross. I think he's hysterical whenever he's in any movies. But the whole movie, it was set in today's day and age, but he's telling the story like in, the 80s basically. So it's got like the funny, dress like outfits, and it's like kids running around, very like Stranger Things type, like they're getting into trouble and coming up with schemes. And like the one rich kid in the neighborhood has the Nintendo 64. And then like, and he's like lords it over everybody, and he only picks 8 people to come play in a day, like everybody comes out of his house trying to bribe him. And it's just really funny. And there's just moments where it made me laugh, and I wasn't expecting to like it. It wasn't like, normally when people who aren't big movie people are recommending me movies, I'm kind of like, like maybe. And then it's also a Christmas movie that I had never heard of. I had so much fun. I loved it. It was better than A Christmas Story, and I'll die on that hole. I don't care.
I like looked up screenshots, and I like saw nothing for this movie, like not a single trailer or anything. Like it doesn't look familiar at all. Like I don't know who was in charge of promoting it, but I didn't see anything for it.
Well, the must have been Netflix, since Netflix doesn't promote their stuff.
It's actually HBO Max. So
oh, it's HBO Max.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it if you're like kind of still in the Christmas mood and you want to watch it. I think it's really funny. It's not really like, even it didn't feel very Christmassy to me because it was like set during Christmas time, but it, it's, and they're doing Christmas shopping, but it's not like heavy on the, Santa Claus and everything like that. It's very like, like, well, your parents don't like, because like the whole thing in The Christmas Story is like, oh, you'll shoot your eye out. That's the thing. Like, he wants his red something BB gun, I don't know, and like that's what he wants. And then this is like when video games were just getting out that they're bad for you, they're gonna rot your brains. So that was my pleasant surprise. I definitely recommend it if you get a chance to watch it. Darrell, what was your surprise film of the year?
My surprise, I've been thinking about it because I had 4. But the one that was like, I honestly had like no, I had like, sorry, I hit the mic. I had like zero, like expectation. I was like, this movie's gonna suck, probably. It was Cruella.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I did not intend to.
My dog didn't like it.
Well, I can tell why. Probably the scene where Corella's mom gets killed by Dalmatians.
See, I heard that, and I was I can't watch this movie.
That is the reason why I didn't watch it for the longest time. But
I was of course, that's the reason she hates them. They killed her parents.
Yeah, it's like, why would you make that a thing? But
she doesn't. That's the thing. She doesn't hate Dalmatians.
Yeah, she doesn't. That's it's so.
It was
weird.
Perfect motive that they immediately got rid of.
Exactly.
Like,
it's just
she doesn't hate dogs in the movie.
Oh my god.
My mother died because of Dalmatians, and that's why nothing. That's why exactly 0 things happened. But I was surprised. When I was doing a job in Atlanta this year, and so we were just like putting on a movie, and we're like, well, let's watch Cruella because we haven't seen that. And I was like, okay, this movie's gonna suck. And as we start watching, I'm just like, this camera work is pretty good. Like, this set design is pretty good. This production design in general is really good. The acting on Emma Stone's part is really, really good. I was just like more and more impressed as the movie went along. And by the end, I was like, oh my god, this actually didn't suck. This actually was, like, even her characterization, Corella's characterization is actually really interesting. And I still don't understand how she got to the point where she's going to like murder dogs. I don't get that. They never explained that in the movie.
It's all for the fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
She doesn't really hate dogs. I guess that's like the thing. Is she
Yeah,
doesn't
it's more
hate
like,
dogs. She just wants to make a really cool Dalmatian coat.
yeah, it's like it's a means to an end. That's the
Yeah.
thing for her, I guess. They don't get into a whole lot of detail for obvious reasons, because why would you make a movie about that? But it was good. I liked it a lot. I actually would recommend that you watch, because of like the Disney live action remakes. I'd say that like that and Jungle Book are probably two of the best ones.
Oh, I love
Jungle Book is
Jungle
still the
Book.
best. It's still number
Jungle Book is
one.
so good.
But Cruella's
I
probably like
really
number two
liked
or three.
Christopher Robin, but I mean that
Oh,
wasn't
yes.
really a remake, I guess.
I
But
never
I mean, neither
saw
was
it.
Cruella.
I kind of
Oh,
wanted to though.
Ewan McGregor is
But
phenomenal.
Pooh Bear holds a very special
Yeah.
place in my heart. And
That's
there's
the reason why I
behind
didn't
Piglet,
see it.
like right over there. But yeah, I like grew up with it. So
No, it's actually Christopher Robin's a really good one if you haven't seen it, Darrell. I really liked
Okay.
how they use like it. Winnie the Pooh is really cute in that movie. Like the whole thing is really adorable. And it's super nostalgic. It kind of works out in its own way because it
Okay.
feels like old school Winnie the Pooh, which is entering
That's
into
good.
the public domain, the
Yeah.
original version of Winnie the Pooh. Not red t-shirt Winnie the Pooh, but like
yeah,
no t-shirt Winnie the Pooh is entering.
That's right. Naked Winnie the Pooh.
Naked Winnie
not
the Pooh.
crop top Winnie the Pooh.
The way nature intended. Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh.
But Cruella was really good. I liked it. I watched it when it made it to Disney Plus. I think I didn't go see it in theaters unless
Yeah,
it
same
wasn't in
here.
theaters. I don't remember.
It was in theaters for
Um,
like 2 weeks. That's it.
yeah. I remember going, well, the story's lacking, and it definitely felt like it was more of the henchman's story. Like they were more
Mm.
sympathetic
Yeah.
as the like protagonists, like the henchmen's were more interesting. But like, and like she's not meant to be sympathetic because she's the antagonist of her own story. Like she's the one causing a ruckus, and
Yeah.
that's the whole point. But I remember being like amazed at the costume design and just some of like
Hmm.
the moments that they give her. She is stunning in that film. Like
Yeah.
captivating. I'm looking at some of the pictures from the movies and just some of the screen grabs, and I'm like, that jacket, like this dress, oh my God. Like it's just like their statements, and I love that. And I feel like that was what they did, is they just designed the movie after the pieces. Like that's just what it feels like. So I don't know. Yeah. I agree with you. I liked that one.
Yeah. Just check it out. Even you think it looks stupid, but actually it's pretty good. So as a reformed person who thought it was gonna be stupid.
Alrighty. Sarah, what was your movie that surprised you for the year?
I feel like mine maybe shouldn't have come as such of a surprise because James Gunn is great, but I was ready to be disappointed by the Suicide Squad, and I was not. I loved it. I just haven't been happy with really anything that DC has done in a while. And then also like the worst of it is Suicide Squad. And then it's like, let's put a
Mhm.
the in front and like see if someone else can do it better. And he sure did. It was
Yep.
fantastic. It was so much fun. It was like I was glad that he was able to like do something because he didn't have like the Disney name on it. Like he just went like
Mhm.
as R as he wanted to instead of like lightly tiptoeing it like he does in Guardians of the Galaxy with like the raunchiness and the jokes and stuff. He just was able to go full force, all the gore, all the raunch, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it really was like pure James Gunn, and it's like it wouldn't have happened if he didn't get fired from Disney for like like a year, I guess. It
Yeah.
wasn't even a year; it was like 3 months.
Yeah.
Like if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have the Suicide Squad, which is now both the best and worst DC movie, which is just awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like poetry, it rhymes. I love it. But yeah, that was
one
one of
was
the better
fun.
ones.
I watched that one in the middle of the hurricane that destroyed my wedding venue and ruined my wedding. But that one I just remember enjoying. It was just like a fun ride. Like
Mhm.
it's what a villain superhero movie was supposed to be, and she was great in it. Like so effortless for that character. Like if anyone was ever going to be Harley Quinn, it was going to be her, and that was it. And I just love because like in the other Suicide Squad, it felt very forced. And like she was cast as it, and like that's great. And then the Harley Quinn movie, she was great, but this one was like her having fun, like it. And that's what it felt like for everybody. Like everybody who, like, I'm looking at this cast list, I'm like, oh my god, there's so many people. And it was stupid, and it was gory, and it was unnecessarily gory, and I loved that. And John Cena's in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're so right about that, because like it is so much about the director and the writers, and like he really is so good at letting them do what they can do best, because everyone was so good in that. And like, yeah, Margot Robbie was so much more brilliant as Harley Quinn in that than any of the other times she's been a Harley Quinn. And that really is like a testament to how good of a director James Gunn is, and like really just lets them run with their characters. Like even John Cena was absolutely brilliant. Like perfect cast. Like everyone was perfect cast. It was so much fun.
And then I love David, I'm gonna butcher his last name. It's like
Dastmalchian.
Yes, I freaking love him.
He's so good.
He's so interesting to me, and he is phenomenal in that movie. Like so funny, and it's just perfect. And now I'm looking at it. He was in Dune, and now I'm like, oh yeah, that's the reason to watch Dune. Right there.
He's only in it for a little bit, but like he was in like
I bet you he was in it longer than he was in Dark Knight. So because I know exactly. He's
I kind of forgot he was in Dark Knight. So yeah,
I remember the man that the Batman. I think it's the commissioner grabs him or whatever.
Yeah, and they think you're the Joker. It's like,
and then he has the tag that has her name on it or whatever. Yeah. And like, he's so like catches your eye. Like he's an actor that catches your eye whenever he's on screen. So I was so excited to get to actually like see him as an actor. And he plays the most ridiculous supervillain. Like
it was so weird and so funny.
And like the rat like girl is hysterical. I don't remember what her name is. Ratcatcher. She's
and then
great.
Wow, her like story with me.
It's like
I love her.
I wasn't ready to.
And then her dad ends up being Taika Waititi, and you're like, what? Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is a really good one. I forgot about that one. It kind of got swept under the rug, I think, for me. But I'm so glad you brought it up because
it's kind of earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. It really wasn't. It was in September. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, nothing happens in September.
Well, I watched it in September. Hold on. When did it get released?
It came out in August, I think.
Okay.
So.
What is this year?
Yeah.
That year. It's over. This is the last time I'm talking about it.
Oh my gosh. Well, was there any movies that you guys finally watched this year? Like, Darrell, what was a movie that you like finally got around to watching?
As I scramble to find my list real quick. Okay, so one of my favorites, I'm not going to talk about it much because I've already talked about it a lot. Day of the Dead. I saw that for the first time this year. It was great. But a different one I saw for the first time was okay, now I'm trying to pick which one because there's two really good ones. They're both really good.
You can mention both.
Yeah, I'll just mention both. I won't keep you in suspense forever. The movie that I liked the most was wait for it. Last Action Hero.
Oh, okay.
Last Action Hero was one of two that I was like I saw for the first time also when I was out of town for work. And it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and a kid inside of a movie, and it's just like the most hilarious, dumbest film I've ever seen. It's like the perfect 90s action movie. It's so funny because it's just like this kid's like, man, I really love this action star Arnold Schwarzenegger. It'd be so cool if I could be in a movie with him. Then he gets like teleported into the movie and he's in an action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's like all the action movie tropes, but it's also stuff like when he goes home, he has a blank apartment because, the screenwriter never wrote an apartment for him and stuff like that. Like, what happened to your ex-wife? And it's like, we don't talk about her because the screenwriter never came up with anything for the ex-wife, so she just leaves angry messages and you never see her. It's like, it is hilarious, and it's like it's one of the coolest like meta films before meta was really a thing. It It's the first half of the Matrix Resurrections before the Matrix Resurrections, basically. So that was really good. Also, Death Becomes Her, which is a Robert Zemeckis comedy. It's just really funny. It's basically just Meryl Streep. Basically, it's like, cool, I'm gonna become immortal now because I hate my husband or something. It's another like really kind of dumb but surprisingly really really funny movie. Oh, also Bruce Willis is the husband. This is Bruce Willis back in like Moonlighting and like his early career.
Mhm.
And so they're just great on state on screen together. They're just so funny because like
Those are very specific time area. One of them was 93 and the other was 92.
oh, there you go. See, I mean, it's just funny. It's like basically she's like, I want to be young and beautiful forever. So she goes to like Isabella Rossellini plays like this witch, this really sexy witch who's like, I can make you young forever. Just take care of your skin because if you don't, you'll look like a zombie or something. And then Bruce Willis accidentally kills her and like breaks her neck, and she's just like, look what you did to me. She's like trying to fix her body or like painting her skin till she looks normal. And then like her rival does like the same thing, and it's so funny. You have to watch it. It's great. It's
I'll
like
have to
one
check
of
that one out.
it like won an Oscar for best CGI too. It looks kind of dumb today, but it was great in 1992, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Sarah, what was a movie that you had finally gotten around to see?
Both of my favorite movies that I hadn't seen yet that I got around to this year were horror movies. And they were Get Out, which I think I'm gonna save for us to talk about as like a Nope thing, since we should probably just talk about his horror career once Nope comes
Probably.
out. But I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I forgot Nope comes out. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And then my other favorite movie that I finally got around to watching was Midsummer, which is, oh my God. Like I watched Midsummer and Hereditary in the same day. It was like so much fun watching them back to back and just like really seeing like the similarities between them. And like, yeah, Ari Aster is just, I mean, brilliant for only having 2 films out. Like that blows my mind. And both of them are just phenomenal. But yeah, Midsummer I was like so entranced, and like the way it like showed the hallucinogenics was like so interesting, and like it was heartbreaking, and just I love also like the empathy in it, just like, you know, when like someone's feeling something and they all just like scream back at them or like smile back at them, like it's like just so eerie and like, oh yeah,
like I feel like I felt that scene where they're all like screaming on a primal level. I was just like,
yeah.
I was like, I want to scream with you so badly because you're like, this is exactly how you're supposed to feel. It's so
mourning,
good.
grief is such an interesting. It's an interesting display of grief because we don't really. It's a character who didn't get to grieve, you know, like and a character who no one around her is letting her grieve. You know, they're all kind of like, oh, she's a, you know, the boyfriend's kind of like a asshole who's like, I don't really want her to come on my trip, you know, like she's gonna ruin
he was
all
ready
the
to
fun.
break up with her.
And
then it's like,
and it's just like, ooh, like this poor, and Florence Pugh, she's just a joy. I love everything
amazing.
She's
every
just,
time I see her, she's just
everything.
Like,
she deserves everything. Oh my gosh, yeah, that one's a. I liked Midsummer more than I think I liked Hereditary, but I also like loved Hereditary. So I feel like that says a lot about why I liked Midsummer. I don't know, and I feel like I go back and forth with Midsummer, and there's like days where I'm like, I didn't like it, and then I'm like, no, I did like it. I just, I never have a good experience in theaters. I just should stop going to movie theaters. That one was Hereditary. I had a terrible experience. I had some guy yelling the whole time, and then Midsummer, I had 2 old ladies who didn't get it. And
you know, I think it's just your Cinemark.
No. I saw both of those I saw Hereditary in California, and I saw Midsummer in a different city. So it wasn't my Cinemark.
You're just cursed.
It's just a curse.
I feel like you're supposed to have a bad time watching those movies though. So look at
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
ambiance.
Normally I try to be understanding, and like it's the films that I go into that I try and be understanding. Like I try and go into Marvel movies understanding, like, okay, I'm going to go see this with a bunch of teenagers and parents who don't want to be there, and everybody's going to be annoyed. But those are the best movies. Everybody's quiet.
Yeah.
Like I think the last two I saw, Eternals and Spider-Man, both audiences were phenomenal. Like,
yeah, that's because they know what they're here for.
Yeah.
It's like you shut up when Spider-Man don't scream. Peter Parker's talking to you.
Yeah.
You respect that man. You respect him.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you finally got to watch Midsummer. That makes me so happy. So
what about you? Tell us.
So I have two. One is definitely more of a, oh my God, I just watched that movie. So to make us sound even more cooler than we already sound on this podcast, we have a D&D campaign going on the side as well. And someone is our DM, Sarah, and she chose a Miyazaki kind of homebrew campaign, I guess is the best way to explain it. And so for my homework, I decided to actually watch a Miyazaki film because I've only ever seen Kiki's Delivery Service, and which I love. I love Kiki, but I have never just gotten around to watching any of the other ones. And then it was like I was so far into the cinematic like group that I was scared to admit that I hadn't seen them. But I finally watched Howl's Moving Castle and I loved it. I had so much fun with that movie, and I was like in tears because it was beautiful, and I just loved Hal, and I loved Christian Bale as Hal. I thought he was hysterical, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and I was like super excited to finally like get to cross that one off my list, and I'm like excited to do another one. You know, I'm ready to watch Cat Bus, which I know is not Darrell,
yeah, that's his name.
I should be Cat Bus. I should be about Cat Bus. That's all I know.
You both have to watch Ponyo still.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have to watch Ponyo.
Maybe we'll cross that off together.
Especially Betty White is in it.
Aww, Betty White.
That's right.
I should watch The Proposal. That's one of my favorites. I love her in that.
I'm so glad I've watched The Proposal.
That was our first movie together.
It was. Betty White brings everyone together.
Yes.
That's nice.
But another one of my films that I finally got to see, and this one I think is neither of you have seen, it's called Daniel Isn't Real, and it is a horror film that I think came out in 2019, and it has Patrick Schwarzenegger in it, which is his son.
It's just hysterical.
I really hope it's his son. But it's a movie that kind of talks about, it's a horror film that very not so delicately discusses childhood trauma and coping mechanisms, and maybe a little bit of like, you know, split personality disorder, I guess is the best way to explain it. It's beautiful to look at. It's one of those films that it's definitely like, it wasn't like I don't think it was ever in theaters. I think it was like a straight to like Shudder movie, and it was just beautiful. It's so gorgeous, and I definitely recommend you guys watching it and checking it out if you can. I don't know. I think I saw it on Hulu or Amazon when I watched it.
Must find.
But it's cleverly done, like so cleverly done. So Daniel is his imaginary friend that resurfaces as an adult. So
okay.
It has surprisingly good ratings for a horror movie, so that means it's probably brilliant.
Yes,
feels like Malignant a little bit.
Really good. Oh, Malignant was also really good, but that came out this year. But yeah, so I really liked Daniel Isn't Real. So, and Patrick Schwarzenegger, and I think it's Miles Robbins is the main character. He's fantastic.
I'm gonna have to see that because this sounds fascinating. Also, it's on 2 different streaming services, which I have, so that makes it easy to access.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the 2 films that I finally got around to seeing, and I was super pumped about. Well, I mean, that kind of covers our top and not so top films of 2021. What are the movies you are excited to see in 2022?
That's a good question because now I'm trying to think. Oh, Doctor Strange. I do want to see Doctor
Ooh,
Strange.
Mm.
yes. Yes.
So
My most anticipated film is definitely The Batman. Cannot wait.
sorry, the Batman. That's what I meant to say. Never mind.
I get more and more excited about the Batman every trailer, and like I'm not normally one to watch like different trailers, but they've released so many different versions of that trailer, and like they've all been in front of movies that I've seen,
Mhm.
so I haven't been able to avoid these trailers,
But
and
they're so
I'm
good.
so
They're such
Get
excited.
good
better and better.
trailers.
Yes, so I'm really pumped about
Uh,
that one, and I'm excited. God, the Riddler, can't wait. So excited for the Riddler. And a scary Riddler too. I'm really
Yeah.
hoping he's going to be scary.
I
Like,
hope his face is all messed up because we
yeah,
haven't seen it yet.
I'm really excited. I mean, I'm excited and not excited for Scream. I'm really worried I'm going to be let down, but it's a Scream movie, so I'm super pumped for it. Because I like Scream. That's one of my favorite horror films of all time. Is the original, and the sequels are just fun, and I don't care.
Guys, Across the Spider-Verse comes out this year. I keep
Yes.
forgetting that even exists. Oh my
I
god.
I haven't seen the trailer for that one yet, and I'm kind of like maybe if I can avoid it as best as possible, because I mean I don't need to see the trailer. I'm gonna go see the movie, and like the first one was marketing enough for the second one, so I'm oof. But yeah, I'm Across the Spider-Verse. I'm so excited.
Oh my god. I'm just looking at the list right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm so excited. The movie
Lightyear. Lightyear's
about to
I
another
say-
did
one.
see a trailer for Lightyear and I was like
It
smiling
looks-
the whole time. It's
it
gonna be
looks
so cute and it's
so
so
good.
beautiful.
And I told my husband, I was like, they don't tell us anything about the story.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
just
I
show
love
off
that.
They
awesome
I was
just
like-
images.
show imagery, and I'm like,
wow.
I'm so pumped. And it almost looks like The Martian, if The Martian was Buzz Lightyear. And I'm like, I will go see that movie.
I mean, it looks like the Star Wars animated film I've always wanted to see, basically.
Yes.
It's like, it is beautiful, the
Yeah,
trailer.
it's so gorgeous.
I'm so excited.
I don't
for
know
this
when
movie I didn't
Pixar
ask
is gonna
for.
stop outdoing themselves. I hope
Con-
never, but
they
wow.
constantly,
it just
I
gets
can't.
prettier and prettier.
Yeah. Have you guys seen anything for Cyrano? Cyrano? Cyrano?
Cyrano.
Cyrano, the version.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
Oh
It's
wait,
a-
is that the one
it's
with
Old school
Peter.
one, but
Peter
it's with
Dinklage.
Peter
Dinklage.
Dinklage. Yeah.
I did see a very long trailer and I was like, wow, I have watched this movie. And now
Yes.
I'm just not interested because
It
the
is a very
trailer
long
gave away
trailer.
the whole
It's a
thing.
really long trailer, but I've seen the movie already. Like I've seen other
original
versions
one?
of it. Yeah, I've seen like I think it's Kevin Kline.
Oh, okay.
I think the version I'm thinking, think Kevin Kline is in the one of the other ones, and then I've also seen like a French, movie that came out in the 60s.
Okay.
That was that one's like a classic story that's
yeah, we
definitely
read
been
the book in high school.
Yeah. So I think it's Kevin Kline. Hold on, I gotta look it up now don't quote me on it until
I feel like that fits.
because I can picture him with the nose. I can picture him with the nose.
Kevin Kline, his weird nose. He didn't even do any prosthetics. They just put him on screen.
Yes, it was him. 2008. Okay. Yes. Oh, Jennifer Gardner's in that movie. I don't remember her in that movie. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. It looks fun, and I like Peter Dinklage, so I'm gonna probably watch that one. Because it's a different take on the character too. Like, like the whole point is that he's ugly, but he's trying to make, I don't know. It's a different take, and I think I'm kind of excited to see that. I don't know. Black Phone? No? Okay.
Yeah, Black Phone comes out. I am very excited for that. Also, guess what comes out this year?
What?
Secrets of Dumbledore.
Oh,
Can't wait to hate
no.
that movie.
Two Harry Potter fans in this group. I mean, I don't know about you, Darrell, but
I
a
am a
lot
Harry
of my
Potter
life
fan. That's the
goes
thing.
into Harry Potter, and I've never been more I was more pumped for their reunion than I am for Secrets of Dumbledore.
That's the
I'm
thing.
just
It's like
so done with it. Like, yes, I have the book stars on my body, but I can't care about the stupid wizarding world and why it's still called Fantastic Beasts, and I hate it all. I hate it all.
That's not, and I'm sorry that you feel that way.
it's unfortunate.
I'm
But
sorry.
she ruined it. J.K. Rowling ruined it.
She ruins everything.
She ruined her own thing. Good job. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Well, are there any other movies that we're excited about so we don't end on a terrible note?
Probably Nope. No.
There is
Oh,
a Knives
Nope,
Out
yes,
2 coming
Nope.
out
The
this
movie
year
Nope,
also.
not Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, nothing
Nope.
else except for
Yeah.
Nope the movie.
You mean
And-
Death of the Nile?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Knives Out. Knives Out
Oh, yeah,
2
Knives
is
Out
actually coming
2.
out.
I didn't
For
realize they were
Netflix.
doing it too.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
got
he's
a
doing,
trilogy
he's
that
doing at least a couple.
Netflix has signed on to.
Can we talk about Death of the Nile and how they carefully edited it around Army Hammer?
He was in that.
He's
I saw
the
his name pop up
husband.
and I was like, oh.
He has a
didn't
prominent, I
know.
know he has a
Ooh.
prominent, like he's like a prominent character in that because they tried very hard to edit around the cannibal that is Army
he's the
Hammer.
killer. I really hope
Kenneth
he's the killer.
Branagh is so brilliant.
I'm so excited for Kenneth Branagh.
He's
Oh
so
my God.
brilliant as him, as Hercule Poirot. He's
And Emma Mackey, I'm super excited because I love her in Sex Education on Netflix. She's phenomenal. So I'm so excited for her to like get like a big role and like
and Ana de Armas.
yes,
Ooh.
she's great. Everybody's great in that film except for Army Hammer. We don't need to talk about him. But go watch the trailer. Like you can see like there's quick cuts, whatever, like, but he's never looking at the camera. Like he's never focused of the shot. Like he's always like,
is he in the background?
Like yeah, like because like it's all focused on Gal Gadot, like it because I guess they're husband and wife or something like that. I'm not
Gal
really
Gadot,
sure.
not Ana de Armas.
Is Ana de Armas not in that one?
It's
I don't
Gal
remember.
Gadot.
It is Gal
isn't
Gadot.
it?
It's Gal Gadot.
Okay.
I think I crossed it with Knives Out.
Yeah,
because I was thinking about.
Like, they both have accents. They're both
Yes.
beautiful. I guess they're the same person.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm super. I'm not pumped for it, but I'm super excited to see it because it's a star-studded cast and it's a classic story. You can't go wrong with Death on the Nile.
I really liked it,
Army
and
Hammer,
I
so.
loved what Kenneth Branagh brought to it. So
Yeah. And it's fun to see him acting again. Like, it's been a while. He's doing directing and stuff like that. So Kenneth Branagh is just like one of those that it's just a joy to watch him act. So I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. And also Knives Out too. I'm pretty pumped for it because I love it.
So it's coming out on Netflix, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Netflix.
Well, I would assume
bought
Netflix.
the
Maybe
rights
theaters
to-
too, but.
to 2 and 3.
Oh, okay. Ooh, interesting. I wonder if it's going to be like Daniel Craig still.
It is.
Okay.
It's going to be more, what is it? LeBlanc?
LeBlanc, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
LeBlanc
basically,
stories.
it's an American version of the Death on the Nile and
Yeah.
Murder of the Orient Express.
Yeah. I didn't see that one. Did you guys see Murder on the Orient Express?
I hadn't
Yeah,
seen it. I wanted
I
to,
did.
though.
I liked
Oh.
it a lot. And I actually didn't know the story, so I was like in it for the mystery because like I'd never like seen or read it or anything. So I really liked it a lot. I thought it was fun.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out. Well, I think, that's probably about wraps us up. I want to thank y'all for joining us. Oh my God, my script rolled. I want to thank you for joining us as we add more movies to your bucket list. I guess, did we add movies to your bucket list? Should we?
Oh
say-
yeah.
Yeah.
Dune.
Hold on. Scratch that ending. Okay, these are the movies that you should add to your bucket list. So Dune, apparently.
Dune.
Yeah.
Definitely Licorice Pizza and the French Dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue for Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
Luca, yes.
And
Suicide Squad. We adding the Suicide Squad?
Yeah, if you've seen the original, you have to see this one instead.
Yes.
because wow, what a redemption.
Yes.
Right?
I'll throw Daniel Is It Real in there because it's probably never going to come up again in conversation.
Midsummer.
I think Midsummer's already on there, but yeah, throw that in there.
Okay.
I don't know.
Watch it
Yeah.
again.
Sarah's in charge of the list.
Ooh.
I'll figure it out.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes.
Definitely a must.
We're gonna do a
please.
Miyazaki.
Yes, because I'll do more homework for that.
We're gonna do a Miyazaki episode. I promise.
And you know what? Last Action Hero. Go watch Last Action Hero. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. It is stupid. Please watch it.
Okay, got it. Don't go see Halloween Kills. Actually, please go see a movie because support movies anyway. But
not that one.
But I just know that we're
it's
not
the person that doesn't
it.
want to go to the theater anymore.
Right.
I have a fear of other human beings.
Don't worry, I'll go for you. I can do that.
I don't trust other human beings for my theater experience.
So go.
We went and saw Nightmare Alley, and there were 4 other people, and the 2 people in front of us talked the entire time. It was a 2.5 hour long movie. And it was quiet.
That's why I love the Broad. If you're in New Orleans, watch your movies at the Broad. Like, everyone has respect for the theater experience there. It's a adorable little 4 theater cinema, and wow, it's
a nice place. I've only been there once.
Little bar.
I got a Cinemark and an AMC.
Go see it in Dolby. If you go see it in Dolby, you're not gonna have any problems. Basically, spend more money.
Can't hear anyone anyway. Yeah,
exactly.
Just go see it in Dolby, and you can only hear the movie.
Yeah,
and that's how it's supposed to be.
Well, I guess thank you for joining us as we add more movies to your bucket list. My name is Gracie, and you can find me at Gracie May. That's with a Y and 3 E's on anywhere you see fit. Darrell, where can they find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Darth Darrell. That's Darth as in Vader, Maul, Sidious, take your pick. And Darrell, Darrell. Sometimes I post there. Sometimes I just look around and skulk all day, but
Skulking.
Yeah, scream at me there while I'm skulking around. A movie had the word skulking in it a lot this year, I feel like. I don't remember what
that was not 4 weddings and a funeral.
4 weddings, okay, that's the one.
Yeah, and it's because she goes to I can skulk when skulking's required. Yeah. That's your line.
a 2022 film, if there is one, is 4 weddings and a funeral.
Sounds like my life now that I think about it. I'm on wedding number 3. And Sarah, where can we find you?
Well, I'm snotty_person on Twitter and snotty.person on Instagram. And that's snotty with an IE instead of a Y.
And also check us out on Letterboxd because Darrell's now officially a pro, so he could see his stats.
I'm a god amongst men now. I pay $20 a year
for Letterboxd, because we love our Letterboxd, and my reviews on there are terrible. So don't come at me, because the only times I ever leave a review is normally for a sarcastic comment. But check us all out for the podcast updates and movie news at the Popcorn Bucket List on Instagram and at TPB_podcast on Twitter, or just find us. Google exists.
Yeah, you dumbass. Google.
God, I'd hope you'd realize you could just Google search our name and find us on social media. And tune into our YouTube channel if you want to see our beautiful faces and my camera die constantly. And we normally upload the video version of the podcast on Fridays, but that's, of course, if our computers let us upload those podcast versions. But yeah, I look forward to the next year with, talking movies about it with you guys. I don't know what next episode's going to be, but I can't wait.
It's a surprise for all of us.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.